Hey y'all, JB here, and I told Mr. Boyd about my trip to the Taj Mahal, and he said I should read a story to you. He said it's all about Indian culture. Now he didn't have a paper copy of the book, so he gave me a copy on my iPad. It's hard to see on the computer; it doesn't show up very well, but it's called Tansen's Gift. I'll see if I can figure out how to throw a picture of the cover on here for you. Okay. But it's by some lady named Dawn Renee Levasque, and the art is by Owen Whalen. It's a weird art style, but it's pretty neat. There's a man and a woman on the front, and they're wearing some weird clothes, and they're playing something that looks like a guitar, but it's a weird shape. It's like round at the bottom. It looks like they cut open some kind of squash or something and made a guitar out of it. So I don't know what that is, but let's see if we can find out what Tansen's gift was, and that's a funny name. Once long ago lived a great emperor called Akbar. Akbar, oh Akbar, Admiral Akbar is that squid guy from Star Wars. He's always walking around going, "It's a trap! It's a trap!"
It's a trap.
His kingdom spanned all of northern India, and he lived in a red sandstone palace along a craggy ride, which came to be called Fatehpur Sikri. Not far from the palace lived a small boy named Tansen. Oh, there's our guy. As a child, Tansen would venture into the mangrove forest with his friends, and much to their delight, he would expertly imitate the sounds of the birds in the treetops. As Tansen grew older, his father brought many tutors to the house, hoping his son might learn to read and write. But Tansen was not interested. He wanted only to sing, and his voice was so tender to all who heard it that they stopped what they were doing to listen to its passion. It must mean he could sing real good. It was not long before stories abounded through the city of the magical powers found within the songs of Tansen. It was said that he could summon all the animals of the forest with his compassionate ragas. What's a raga? Oh, down here at the bottom, it says ragas are melodic formulas in Hindu music. Oh, it says Akbar wasn't that guy from Star Wars. He was a Mogul emperor who reigned from 1556 to 1605. Ah, so he was a real guy. One day, while hunting in a nearby forest, Emperor Akbar spotted a Bengal tiger whose reddish orange fur stood out against the tall green blades of grass. His narrow black stripes were as dark and angry as its eyes. I don't want to see no tiger. They might try to eat me. The enraged, ferocious tiger tried to escape its attackers. Its strong, powerful jaw opened to display its large, sharp teeth. The emperor's men tried in despair to capture it, but were intimidated by its sharp talons that ripped repeatedly through the empty air. He sounds angry. The men were about to fling a net over this beautiful wild creature when they stopped and cocked their heads to hear a faint and chanting sound in the distance. Even the tiger seemed soothed by the melody and soon calmed. He lay down upon the tall grass as if in a trance. The emperor gestured to his men to remain silent. He pointed to the lazy tiger. It had rolled to its side, showing its creamy white stomach. The tiger looked gentle, no longer threatening. I don't know about you, but a tiger's going to look scary to me no matter how they're laying on the ground. The emperor sat down upon a silken rug and listened. Somewhere in the forest, a man plucked the strings of a tanpura. A tanpura? It says at the bottom that this is a stringed instrument with a long neck and a gourd body. A gourd? That's what they call a squash, a gourd, or a pumpkin. Has it got a pumpkin? Is he playing a pumpkin? His compelling voice drifted between the boughs of the trees like a gentle wind into the ears and hearts of its listeners. So pleased was the emperor that he completely forgot about the tiger and summoned his royal entourage to find who had sung so magically. Before the sun rose over the hills and cast its warmth across the earth, a messenger came to the door of Tansen and led him through the gates of the palace directly to the hall of private audience. When Emperor Akbar once again heard the sweet sound of Tansen's voice in harmony with the wooden instrument. Ooh, there's a picture. I'll try to throw that on the screen for you guys. There's a tiger laying at the foot of this man who's all dressed up. I bet he's the emperor because he's laying on a blanket and there's a man holding an umbrella over him. And then there's somebody down here playing an instrument. Maybe that's Tansen. When Emperor Akbar once again heard the sweet sound of Tansen's voice in harmony with the wooden instrument that lay across his lap, he was brought to tears. I ain't ever heard music so good it would make me cry. So impressed was the emperor that he added Tansen to the other jewels of the crown, the most outstanding talents to be found in the kingdom. Tansen was soon entertaining the emperor every evening. As the sun set over Fate per Sikri, that's a funny name, he would gently lull the emperor to sleep. And just as the sun rose over the hills and kissed the earth, Tansen would be in the emperor's bedchamber, singing ever so softly to slowly awaken him. Tansen's reputation spread. After a time, the other jewels of the crown grew jealous of the attention Tansen was receiving and plotted secretly for his downfall. To reclaim their influence, they agreed that Tansen's reputation must be tarnished in front of the emperor. Somebody's mad. Somebody don't like him. One morning, they approached the emperor voicing doubts about the beauty of Tansen's music. They suggested that if he was indeed as good as they had heard, he should sing Deepak Raga for the court. If this song was sung to perfection, it was said that lamps would alight and the singer's body would be consumed by fire and turned to ash. What? No song that's going to make me burn up? That's crazy, man. The emperor faced a dilemma. If he dismissed his other advisors' proposal, they would spread rumors of his weakness. If he accepted their suggestion, it could forever destroy the beauty of Tansen's gift. Nevertheless, Emperor Akbar approached Tansen and ordered that he sing Deepak Raga. Tansen better be careful, because that sounds like a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Tansen protested, but the emperor held up his hand, silencing Tansen's protest, and told him that he must accept the challenge. Tansen knew the dangers of singing Deepak Raga. He pondered deeply and paced the garden until he had worn a dirt path with his feet. At last he saw how he could be saved. Perhaps someone could accompany him by singing Megaraga, which would bring the rain. So one song brings fire and the other song brings the rain? That's crazy, man. On the day of the performance, the court was packed with royal guests. The lamps upon the walls stood unlit, and the guests sat in darkness as they waited in anticipation to hear the most difficult raga ever sung. Tansen anxiously sat down with his tampura upon his lap. By his side was Rupa, the woman who would accompany him, singing Megaraga simultaneously. So they're going to bring fire and rain at the same time? The emperor entered and sat upon his gem-encrusted throne. At a motion from Akbar, Tansen began to sing. It was not long before the air became hot, thick, and heavy. Sweat beaded on each guest's brow. Flowers in the nearby garden began to droop. The heat in the room was nearly unbearable as Tansen continued to sing. Suddenly the lamps upon the walls flared up. The emperor stood deeply enchanted with the intense power of the raga. This guy can sing so good he can cause fire to come? That's crazy, man. Rupa grew nervous. Her voice was but a whisper. She looked worriedly at Tansen. His face had grown red like the sandstone of the palace, and dripped with sweat. It drenched his clothes and made a puddle around him. Rupa gathered her courage and began to sing Megaraga. Her voice grew stronger as she sang, and it soared through the thick, warm air over the rooftops to the sky above, which darkened. Heavy gray clouds swelled, then the rains came, their cool drops refreshing the audience, filling the fountains and awakening the drooping flowers. Upon the realization that he had almost lost his greatest musician, the emperor, greatly relieved, showered Tansen with gratitude and many gifts. But the fire of Deepak Raga had not left Tansen untouched. He fell ill and was able to return to court only months later. He got so hot it made him sick. That's crazy. Yet Tansen's glory spread faster than the fiery power of Deepak Raga. Accounts of Tansen swiftly spread down the valleys and across the hilltops to other kingdoms. If you look upon a small grassy hill in the northern part of India today, you will see a small tamarind tree. Its flowers of white petals and pink stripes float down to gently rest upon the carved stone tomb of Tansen. It has been said that anyone who eats a pale green leaf from this wizened tree and then touches the tomb will be graced with the gift of song. And each year in Gwalior, where Tansen's tomb lies, a festival featuring musicians playing traditional ragas captivates audiences and pays tribute to his gift. Wow, that's pretty cool. What if that's a true story? He could sing so good that he could bring the fire, and then the lady brought the rain, and it cooled him off, and he got sick, but later he died, and everybody remembered it? That's a pretty cool story. I don't know about you, but I thought the tiger was going to eat them all in the beginning. That would have been a good story too, but it would have been over real quick. Well, I hope you like my story today. This is JB, and this is the end of JB story time. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.
It's a trap.